reproduction of this content is not allowed without the express written consent of EBH Fitness, LLC. We're back.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Week 6 wrap-up show. Man, this weekend, Friday night was Friday Night Lights because there was a lot of fireworks.
Boom, 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 fireworks was going off.
Man, it was crazy. So let's get into it. We're going to look at the top 10 and recap those games. So we go back to Thursday. East Lake played Socorro, 56-18. They were who we thought we were.
Yeah, East Lake we knew was just going to, have a little salt in their mouth, ready to get after them over the previous week's loss. So
Definitely.
there you go.
So then we get now Friday. I mean, man, right off the bat, we had Montwood versus Franklin.
Big game, but we knew that, the injuries, we both said we thought that injuries were going to catch up with them. And while Franklin fought hard, I mean, again, we both had predicted.
Oh,
yeah.
And one touchdown.
Yeah.
One touchdown, but I mean, hey, I gotta take my hats off to Montwood. Beginning of the year, man, I thought that they were done. I'm not gonna even joke. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I thought they were done, and they basically went 3-0 since then. Once they got the district play, and they beat everybody.
Well, again, it tells you Famaligi, certainly the cupboard was not bare there, and whatever issues went on that contributed to the change in leadership, the cupboards were definitely not bare.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, Riverside versus Bushland, and
Told y'all that Bushland's one of the top teams in the state for small football, and so 3A football. So it's kind of like, it was like, man, them dudes stay in the third and fourth round. So
63-28, man.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be that lopsided, but man, oh man. Then we get to what was our game of the day, Hanks versus Bel Air, and Bel Air did not disappoint. Which is why this guy's got on all this Bel Air gear over here.
I just had to do it one time, y'all, just one time.
But I mean, looking at those highlights, I mean, everybody scored for Bel Air.
Yeah. You heard me say it a million times on this show.
I think you said, 57? What did you say, 57 to like 14?
Yeah, I went 56-14. And just so those who don't know, in that game, there was a 70-yard interception return by a DN, and you had someone blocking the back on the 10-yard line while they're going in to score on that long interception return, and that brought that touchdown back. And so it would have been 56. And so Bel Air was dominant. The guys who you thought they were those dudes.
And I tell you what,
Hanks, I mean, not being main guys out there, but Hanks had a good player in Blanco, great player in Blanco. He was doing his thing, but last night, young Blanco took some shots. I mean, I think you saw one highlight where there was more. I mean, he took multiple shots in that game. And so what you learned about Bel Air is there were a couple of fourth down stops. One of them on the 3-yard line, they threw a slant, and young Davis comes up from the safety spot and absolutely plants the guy right there at the 3-yard line to turn the ball over. They run 2 plays, and then young Davis goes 82 yards for a touchdown.
Man, look, people can say what they want to. The kid can play. He's a baller. Yeah. 200 yards last night, probably 3 touchdowns. Then he got an interception on the defensive side. I mean, the kid's a baller. So y'all can call us homers, whatever you like. The kid's a baller, and we're going to talk about ballers. And there's several ballers in this city that'll get talked about.
No doubt. And also the defense certainly showed up. I mean, Hanks was averaging over 50 points a game, and they were held down to 25.
25.
And so last year they had 24, and so Scott Valise has still got a lot of work to do over there, and you know, on the track, it's important that kids are on the track. I was talking to a high school coach earlier before we came to the show, and we were discussing the importance of track and field speed for athletes on the football field, and so and he certainly agreed that making sure we had more and more kids out there running track and getting faster. And speed is never a bad thing. Basketball, court, football, speed is never bad.
And you brought up basketball, and we'll move on from this. One of the things that, as a basketball coach, I've been trying to get volleyball players to understand is this. Playing basketball is going to make you a better volleyball player.
Right.
Simple things like going up to shoot a layup is nothing more than you spiking a ball in volleyball.
Right.
A wall up in volleyball is like you're going to get a rebound or a block. Like all that stuff transitions over.
Right.
And getting kids to understand that me doing another sport isn't taken away from my primary sport. It's actually fine-tuning those little things to make it better.
To make it better, absolutely.
Definitely. So, you want to take a quick break? You want to keep going?
Yeah, let's go and then we'll take a break.
All right. So we got number 5, Americas versus Pebble Hills, and this is another game of the week. Another game of the week.
Fireworks, fireworks, fireworks.
And I tell you what, they didn't disappoint.
Not at all, and I mean, some surprises in there and some not surprises. Mark Moore was Mark Moore. Gallo Chill was Gallo Quarles. Boy, they have one play where he takes the ball, speed, strong, fast, down the field. That one looks like about 55, 60 yards. But that kid Quarles, we told y'all at the first show that was going to be a dude to look out for, and he is that guy.
Definitely. And America's another team that I thought, I was like, man, I don't know about this kid. I'm nervous about them. And they've just basically turned around and said all they've done is win. And so they win.
All I do is win, win. Okay, I'm kidding.
24-23, America's over Pebble Hills, taking America's now to 4-2, 3-1 in district play, which is the most important part of that.
You know, over in that district, y'all know there's going to be a bunch of ties out there after first and second place. And so, I mean, seeding means everything. Who beats who, and a lot of tiebreakers are going to come into place. And so when America's lost early, everybody's like, man, they can't afford to lose.
And they've been playing like
that. Yeah, and they've been playing desperate like that. And that's sometimes what it takes for a football team. Guess they had some surprises in that game, for sure, yeah.
Got a couple people didn't play.
Didn't play, yeah. The young stud, Cameron Johnson, did not play that game, and but the senior promise picked right up, and had a nice long, 60-yard run. They caught him at about the 4 or 5 yard line, but I don't know if it's injury or whatever going with the Cameron Johnson kid, but if he's out for an extended period, I'm sure. Promise, the senior, just moved right on in.
The kid's been doing it for the last 3 years now.
3 years.
So he'll definitely, I think he can definitely fill that void. But that's before we take this break, we're gonna look at the 1-6A. Right now, you've got Eastwood, Eastlake, Montwood, and who was the other one? Who was the fourth one? Eastlake, Montwood, and Americas.
Yep.
So you got Franklin and Pebble Hills on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, I mean, them 2 losses start to loom. Those 2 now, it's going to shake out. Everybody plays everybody. Yeah. So the later it gets, the team that stays undefeated the longest, they have the biggest benefit because they might down the road have a tough game and take a L, but since they undefeated, that's not going to impact them as much as a team who already has 1 loss, takes a L, falls into that 2-loss scrum for seeding.
Yeah, because you got Eastwood at 4-0, 3-0. Eastlake at 3-1. Americas is 3-1, and Montwood is 3-0.
It's 3-0.
So I mean,
that Montwood Eastwood game is going to be huge.
Yes, it is.
And that one's coming up too, and so it's tree shaking.
Yes, sir.
It's tree shaking.
Yes, sir. Man, you know what? Instead of taking a break, man, I think we got one more game. Let's just knock this out.
All right.
So we got 2 games. So next up, you had number 3 Del Valle versus Horizon, and Del Valle just
Wash,
64-0.
rinse, repeat.
64-0.
They had some young guys in early in that game, as unfortunately expected. Coach Dewan's doing a solid job down there developing his team, and he knew that when he took that job that it was going to be a little bit, but the focus is develop them in football, track, wrestling, and 2 years from now, y'all heard it here first, that's going to be a formidable football team.
And and that's just setting up this collision with Bel Air and Del Valle. I mean, you can just see it happening, and then you cannot dismiss Parkland in that mix.
No, and the Parkland plays Del Valle next week, and so that one is going to tell you hopefully some more about Parkland on the positive side. But man, with their running game, if Del Valle gets it going with Fuller, it's going to be a long night for Parkland. I mean, and while Canutillo exposed some things over there, you still got those cats over at Del Valle coming in, and then you got all them Greyhounds over at Bel Air, who it's proving this year they got 4 kids that can run, and if you double one, the other dudes are gonna get you. Yeah. Not they might, they're gonna get you.
Yeah, no, I think they had 5 dudes that scored. So it's
crazy. 5 dudes this past game, and so.
Yep, and then last game. Coronado versus Eastwood, probably a lot closer than people thought, but Eastwood did pull out the victory 38-33. I mean,
they just keep winning.
They keep winning.
They just keep winning, and that's a mark of a dominant football team, that you may not have your A game at times, but you're going to keep winning, because even your A minus game is still good enough to go out and beat some folks. Yeah. And so and they're still, recovering from some injuries over at Eastwood and getting healthier by the week. And so we'll get to see, how this thing pans out for them. But they're just going to keep their head down, keep running, keep working, and be the last man standing over in that district.
Yes, sir. And, there's 2 games that weren't in the top 10 that I kind of want to mention, or 2 teams. Bowie. And Bowie's 5-1.
5-1.
People can say what they want. They're 5-1.
Yep, that game between them and
Riverside
that will decide pretty much the title over there.
I do believe.
I know Austin's gonna, hey, don't discount us. Not saying that at all. They finally let that young freshman play last week, and you saw he had a couple of highlights out there on Facebook where young Sal Duarte, man, he is as advertised, and El Paso, you have some studs out there.
Definitely.
We got a lot of them that's getting ready to step off the scene, that 24 class, but there's a whole nother group coming just like them.
And and you kind of lead me into this, right? May not be this week, but maybe next week we're gonna put out that Rising Stars report from all these young men to get them names out there.
Be the first one to call it, and then 4 years from now they're gonna be saying they were right again.
I mean, we just did this 4 years ago. And this group now, and
we had
they
a home
all
run
gone.
with it. We knew the kids as freshmen which one was gonna be those dudes, and they are showing up as those dudes as seniors.
And then the last one is Fabens. Fabens won 31-22 versus San Rosario. People could say, it's Fabens, but I mean, from where that program was to where it's at now.
Yeah.
I mean,
just phenomenal. I mean, Coach Vardio's had a lot of injuries down there this year, and it slowed the progress down, but the team was developing, getting better and better, and now they've got, 3 wins on the season?
2.
Yep, 3 wins on the
1-0 in
season.
district.
1-0 in district, and so just continuing the positivity, continue to find a way to get to that playoff spot.
Definitely,
and so
so kudos to you guys down there in Fabens and at Bowie, man, for the changes you guys got going in those programs.
Yeah.
But I mean, what an exciting week.
Oh yeah.
Next week's gonna be is gonna be just as exciting. Catch us on Thursday morning Well, it may be Wednesday. Either Wednesday or Thursday, we'll put it out. But
Yep.
catch us that morning. We'll drop the Week 7 walkthrough. And, man, let's just look forward to another week. Exciting football.
Exciting football.
You guys have a good one.
Week 7 coming.